Hi, I thought I'd just introduce myself and let you know why I decided at age 60 to start this video channel on YouTube. So, I have watched many YouTube channels stating that if you're over 40, 50, 60, it's the best time to start a YouTube channel. And if you have lots of experience in something, then just have at it and make these videos. So, over the years, I've always worked with people, be it geriatrics, pediatrics, mental illnesses. I've always worked with people. So I have come across many situations in my time, but none as scary as my own. I am a survivor of domestic abuse. Welcome to Stronger Days Ahead. I'm Debbie. I am a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. And I am about to share my story with you. If you've been following along and watching my previous videos, you'll understand a little bit of my backstory. But basically, it all started in 2001 when I moved to Canada from the UK. I went through many forms of domestic abuse with my then husband. And so over the years, as I've said, working with especially the geriatrics, I have met many senior women who would have loved to have got out of a marriage, a relationship, or whatever. But back in them days, it wasn't the done thing. Divorce wasn't heard of. And you've made your bed, you lie in it. Once you're married for life. So they put up with all kinds of physical, emotional, financial abuse. And that used to scare me when I would hear these stories. As I've progressed and now I'm working with a younger generation, I'm working with younger girls who ask me for advice, I guess. So it's opened up a whole array of things I really feel I need to put into a YouTube channel. So as for being 60 years old, starting this channel, this is why. I want to share not only my story, but stories of others that can help somebody out there that may need to hear these stories. As I know there is somebody out there that will need to listen to this. My story starts way back when I was basically a doormat, but the worst thing for me was I was always searching for happiness. I never ever took the time to realize that happiness is within us. We're not going to find it in any external source. I was always looking for, the perfect partner, the home, the white picket fence, and all these things. I wasn't happy, just me and my children, as I was a single mother. So I was always searching. So anybody that came along, any male that came along that showed me this attention and happiness that I craved, I just clung to it. So I basically just laid down and died for these guys. I just became a doormat, and I was very easily and very quickly taken advantage of. In my previous marriage, however, it was very insidious. It was very mind-bending kind of abuse. It was emotional gaslighting, the love bombing to start with, the financial, a whole plethora of abuses all under one umbrella. So I got to a very dark place, and I honestly felt I was crazy. I truly believed I had lost the plot. And so I went into this very dark place. And I may have mentioned it in a previous video. It was a doctor that did say to me, after listening to me going on and on about how crazy I am and why am I doing these things and why am I accusing my husband of doing all these things, what is wrong with me? And after listening, this doctor, he was an elderly doctor, and he said, "My dear, do you have any idea you are being abused?" And in that split second of hearing that, it was like a whole weight had been lifting off my shoulders. Because I was in a marriage where we lived on a lake, we had the nice house, we had the boats, we had it all. And so, and I didn't have to work. And so people were like, what is her problem? Why is she always miserable? But I was going through what they call closet abuse. It was all behind closed doors. To the outside world and his family, this man was wonderful, and he would treat me very nice in front of people. And it was behind the closed doors. He would just break me down to the point where I was paranoid. I just had so many mental issues going on. The anxiety, the sleepless nights, and the ill health was unbelievable. I was on a plethora of pills, and yep, I truly believed I was going insane. But this is what they do to break you down. It's just, like I say, insidious. It's sickening. So after I'd spoken to this doctor, and I had a few therapy sessions after this behind my husband's back, I decided one day it's do or die. And I literally walked out of the house with nothing. I put my pills into his hand, the pill pots in his hand, and I said goodbye. And out the door I walked. I got in the car and I drove. I had no clue where I was going. Keeping in mind, I have no family here in Canada. It was just me and my daughter, who was by this time on her own. So it was a scary place to be. I had no money, and as I was leaving, he screamed at me not to touch the bank account, but I had to. So me doing that fueled his fire, he went and got a bank statement. I didn't empty the account. He did, but he made it look like it was me. So again, the whole family was against me. But by this time, I really didn't care. I didn't care what he said anymore. I just wanted out of this marriage. I needed to find myself, and I needed to rebuild my life. But after I'd driven off, not realizing where I was going, what I was going to do, it hit me. What am I going to do? The only way was to go up. I couldn't go any further down. It was impossible. I just couldn't. So I just kept on driving and driving and driving and thinking and thinking. And then I eventually went to my sister-in-law's, as she was the only person I knew that would possibly help me, which she did. And she was a good support system, but again, she was his sister. So unfortunately, where we lived on the lake, he had totally isolated me. So I hadn't made any friends here in Canada. And it was tough. It really was. So cut a long story short, the divorce went through, the house was sold. So I did have some money. I bought myself a little place on Manitoulin Island, moved in there alone, and spent 3 years just having therapy, counseling, just to try and figure out who I was again, because I'd lost myself. I didn't know who I was. And once I'd done this, then I started looking into moving further afield, which I'm so glad I did. I moved down south, down to the Toronto region, and, started building myself up. But I can tell you, it's not an easy process. I am very proud of myself. But now I'm at a stage where I take no bullshit, none whatsoever. And although my videos so far are very morbid, I am a very fun-loving person. I love to laugh. I just love having fun. Unfortunately, I'm British. I do swear a lot. It's my second language, I guess. I was raised around Londoners. So, back in the day, they had the mouth of a sailor, and that rubbed off on me, which is still very true to this day. So I just want to put it out there that it's not always you don't have to stay where you are. You're not stuck. You can move on from where you are. And yes, it's hard. I'm not going to lie, it is hard, especially if you have children. But there is a domestic violence hotline that you can contact. There's women's shelters. There's so much help out there. And when you're going through that, you just feel like it's easier to go back. It is, really is. But you're not going to move forward. And you're just giving your abuser more and more power, more and more control. So just take the bull by the horns, do it, get out there, and then tell your story. Because there's a lot of women out there that need to hear these stories. A lot of men. It's not just women. There is abused men too. which is horrible to think about. But yeah, we need to make this more, we need to make people more aware that this is happening behind closed doors, because nobody sees, you know, the nasty words that are said. If you're physically abused, it's obvious. You see the black eyes, you see the broken limbs. And I've been through that before too, which everybody saw and everybody hated him for doing it. But with my last husband, nobody could see it. So it was just me looking crazy. And I am following a show, as a Brit watching this, you may, you know Emmerdale, that's going on about domestic violence between two characters. And people are saying, oh, this is dragging on and on, you know, when are they going to end this? The reality is it doesn't end. It really doesn't end. I know it's a TV show and people are getting sick of hearing it. Me personally, I'm very, very happy that they are doing this, because people need to be aware that this actually happens. And, you know, it's easy for people to say, oh, when is this going to end? You know, when you're stuck in that, it seems never ending. And, you know, this is only a show where it's going on for a few months. This goes on for years, undetected in relationships. So I just wanted to make this video just to introduce myself, let you know I am a survivor of abuse, and every day I get stronger and stronger, and it has left me with a lot of, I guess, mental illnesses that I will be addressing in further videos. I have paranoia, I have OCD, I am just, you know, everything has to be in place. I am a hoarder. An organized hoarder. I'm not a clutter, you know, pack rat, but I do hoard. And but that is a fear that was put in me. And I also suffer with post-traumatic stress disorder, which is awful. So if you're watching this and you know somebody that's being abused, or if you yourself are being abused, please know that you can get out of it. Please share this video with somebody if you know they're being abused. Let them know there are many, many survivors out there. Many, many, many. And, you know, we look back on them times, they're very dark times. And yes, we have the aftermath, you know, as in the mental health issues. But we are living happy lives now. And I can honestly say my life is very happy right now. And I don't look back. I'm just glad I got out. So please, if any of this resonates with you or somebody you may know, please like, share and subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos like this, helping others that may need to hear what I have to say over the coming months with my story. But as I say, this video, I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know there's always help out there. Until my next video, take care.